Hi, folks. Welcome to AsyncAPI meeting related to conference 2022 organization. Yeah, I'm not gonna start yet talking about the conference. Let's just wait for people to join this meeting. In the meantime, I'll share the link to a to-do list of things that we're working on for the conference. So if already somebody's watching us on YouTube, please say hello so we know that somebody's watching. I'm gonna also share a link to the to a place where we have all the links to like how people can join on Zoom or YouTube. In the meantime, actually nothing in the meantime. Let's just wait a few minutes. Maybe nobody will come. Which is not a problem. It's going to be shorter today then. And maybe in the meantime, I'm going to talk, tell some jokes or not, because I'm not native speaker, so I'm not good in English jokes. And not sure if you want to hear some Polish jokes. In Polish, of course. But interesting fact about jokes. So I learned yesterday that like in English, when you have this specific type of jokes, you call them dad jokes. And in Poland, we call them suchary. And I was always like trying to translate them like suchary, which you could say it's something like dry in English. So I was always thinking it's the same, like that you have like in English, you have dry jokes. But actually that's not. I just learned from my brother yesterday that it's dad jokes. And yeah, but again, this type of jokes are good only in a given language. So I'm not going to translate any Polish dad joke to English. 4 minutes passed. Let's give people like a few minutes more. Boom, 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 boom. Do, 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 do. So there's one good dad joke. So in Polish, it's like I don't have to translate the joke. Actually, I'm gonna say it once Fran joins. But in the meantime, so the joke is, so in Polish jokes, we always have like this kid, boy, that is in Polish jokes. It's always, his name is always Jaś. Oh yeah. Hey Fran, I am gonna translate one that joke from Polish to English. It's a good one. I mean, it's normal joke. So Jaś is like, let's say Jake. So mom is asking Jake, right? Like, Jake, why you're crying? And he's saying like, yeah, it's because I had a dream where the school is on fire. And she's asking like, yeah, but it was just yeah, I already broke the joke. Okay, so my translation sucks. So again, mom is asking Jake like, why you're crying? And he's saying like, yeah, I just had a bad dream that my school is on fire. And she's saying like, hey, come on, like it's just a joke. And his reply is, yeah, that's why I'm crying. So yeah, that's the typical Polish dad joke. And since it's 6 past, was funny, huh? Luckily, like your friend, you're eating, so you didn't choke while laughing. So I'm not sure if many more people will join. So we're just gonna, I guess we're gonna keep it short. You know, I cannot hear you, Fran, right? You're muted. Okay, cool. So well, the meeting, the conference organization meeting always starts with like, basically we're going through the to-do list of items that are on the way for the conference. One super important item that is happening at the moment, it's like, so the CFP finished, and Alejandra is coordinating the part about asking volunteers that volunteered to review CFP. They're reviewing and checking, basically voting which topics we should have at the conference. And Alejandra also provides the works on a schedule, like how they could fit. There was a dedicated discussion on GitHub. You can check it out. Like, she had some proposals how the schedule should look like. So that's what is happening now. And that's why I'm pretty sure we don't have Alejandra, because she's like last few days, she's just focusing on that. But, and the other big topic is something that bothers me a lot, and some people are asking about it. Stop laughing. Asking about its venue. So like, it's basically end of August, and the bad news is that we still don't have a venue selected in Barcelona. So just a story, like a context for everyone who's not attending all these meetings on a regular basis and do not know really what's happening with the conference. So we back in May, June, we started organizing the conference, and we started with asking the community on what dates we should organize the conference. Especially for us, interesting was if it should be middle of the week, or rather week and a bit of weekend. And also we made a survey with the community where we should do it, what country and what city. And the community decision was that it should be Barcelona, or how Spanish people say Barcelona, or something like this. And the dates were 3rd, 4th, and 5th of November. And that was the moment when we immediately contacted with Linux Foundation, asking them to help us out to find a proper venue. Yeah, because we did not have one single coordinator that volunteered to basically drive the whole topic of the venue. That's why we asked experts in the field, because the Linux Foundation organizes a lot of other conferences. Actually, we even thought at the beginning, like January or February, that we will maybe co-organize AsyncAPI Conference with another Linux Foundation conference, which is open source conference that is happening in 2 weeks in Dublin. So that's why we asked them for support. Hi, Sergio. So the situation for today is that, and yeah, a bit of the story. So on one of the meetings in the past, I didn't check which one, but basically on 27th of July, we already got signal from Linux Foundation that 3rd, 5th November is basically not an option, because their sourcing manager that is asking different venues did not get basically any answer that that any of the venues that fulfill Linux Foundation standards, and they have like huge list of different venues, none confirmed that they can organize such event in their location. And then that was a time when I told them, okay, so like looking on the votes of the community, we can just pick the next date that was voted by the community. So I gave them like, okay, so if 3rd, 5th doesn't work, so let's also ask them for 9th, 11th. So yeah, basically another different date. Until today, actually till Friday, because I still don't have updated information from Linux Foundation. So till Friday, we had only 2 venues from entire Barcelona that answered. One, as far as I learned from Sergio, it's pretty far from the center. It's like some area of Barcelona, and they still didn't even confirm all the costs of the venue. And the other venue was pretty nifty hotel at the beach in Barcelona, but also it was not 100% confirmed because they were negotiating. Because if you organize event in the hotel, they also like want to have some fixed amount of rooms that attendees will book. So it was in the they were still negotiating like how many rooms we have to book, how many guests have to book rooms in the same hotel where we have an event, and what's the cost of the rooms. So we are basically at the moment at the end of August, so it's just 2 months before the event, and we don't have a venue, which it makes us have not enough time to then later start asking for sponsors for sponsorship, also getting them starting registration process and all the other things around. But the most problematic is like calculation of the budget and finding the sponsors of the event. So that's if it comes to the background, where we are at. And so even and the only issue we have with Linux Foundation is that they pretty delayed with answering, but it's delayed because they basically have no updates. So we have 2 months, even if we drop and decide to look for the venue somehow on our own, like one person just do it 24/7, only thinking about this, finding a venue, and then negotiating the price, etc., and all the other topics. 2 months is pretty short term and will put a lot of stress on the entire community. So from the whole context history, like I wanted to propose on this meeting something that of course we cannot decide here. We have to also talk with the community, but I especially basing on idea from Laura from Solus, that she is a community manager at Solus, and she also brought up the concern that for many companies it's going to be hard to get a decision to provide sponsoring for the event and prepare for the event. Because for bigger companies it's not so easy to make such decisions in such short time. So my proposal is that we actually discuss with the community if this year we actually do only online event and immediately plan for May, June next year, finding a proper location and not have this constraint that that we have, that community decided on the dates and then we have to find something in a given dates. We should reverse and basically first find proper location, dates, and then when we have that dates, like we have some commitments from the venue, then we can actually start asking community. So yeah, painful, but that's how I see it. Folks,
I fully support it. I think it's the best decision. Let's not stress ourselves and anyone with this. Let's just do a good enough conference, which I think online is good enough. And yeah, let's right the day after. Actually, well, yeah, right the day after we have the conference, we start preparing the next year's conference and try to make it, I don't know, like more with more time, right? And more and better planned and with more with bigger time frames for everything, right? So even we can even target the same month, like November or October or September, whatever, but we don't have to do it before summer. But take advantage that we're doing it like with much anticipation and organize something really cool and have a dedicated person, or yeah, have a dedicated person to work on that.
Yeah. And we don't even have to wait till the end of the online conference.
Yeah,
like
we don't even have to
the
wait
sourcing of the venues. If we
Yeah.
even start next week, it's
we can even start not after this call, because we don't take decisions here, but after it's decided, we can start straight away. So yeah.
Sergio, Ace, anything from your side?
Feels painful, so sorry for that.
Yeah, well, I'm to be honest, I'm pretty sad, but I agree as well that the decision I would like to take is to don't do it on Barcelona this year, for sure. Barcelona or any other place, you know. Do it online or not? Well, yeah, I guess we could do it online. We have not a lot of time, but
for online it's okay. Like for online it's okay, and it's and it, I mean, we have experience with online, so it's not really difficult. And I know we got a lot of proposals, so I would not like to lose the input from the community. There will be interesting stories to share.
Yeah. And the first AsyncAPI community was organized in 2 weeks. We just get with the idea to Lucas, Eva, and I, and we were like, what if we organize an online conference now that everything's online because of COVID? We were in the lockdown, during the lockdown.
Yeah, I mean,
and 2 weeks after, the conference was happening. So we can definitely have time.
I see we have time, but this is something I would like to provide as a feedback, constructive feedback, is that if we want to do something, we have to put resources on it. And otherwise, it's like, it's not going to happen. I'm going to explain what I mean. So in this case, I think you just suggested, Fran, like for the next time to set one person, I would say 2, for finding the venue, for all this stuff, right? This is what you suggested, like few minutes ago.
Yeah. Okay. To coordinate with the Linux Foundation, anything that's needed regarding the event. Yeah.
Well, I will
coordinate with the community as well. So yeah,
I will add more on this later, but yeah, I would say this is the way for every single I don't know, task to do. I know we did. I know Lucas did created an issue with that. But I guess people is doing more things than that, right? It's not purely focused on getting the conference done. And I think this was our kind of, let's call it, mistake, that we have to learn from it, and for the next time dedicate more time. For example, in my case, I was a bit vague on my suggestion. I'm gonna help trying to find a venue. I'm gonna help doing blah 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 other things, right? And I did, but it wasn't 100%. I wasn't like involved 100% on this, you know. It's like only suggestions. So I think if we have someone that this person or those persons have to provide a result, like a venue, and no matter what, so you have to get with a venue and with some date, some delivery date.
Just to make it clear, when I said dedicated, a person dedicated to it, I mean a person who is getting paid for that, right? So
yeah,
that's what I'm not someone like in their spare time. So someone who's doing, let's say, 30, 40 hours a week, working, if not exclusively, almost exclusively on this, right? So
yes,
so yeah.
I meant that as well. Why I say that? Because and I have to say it. So I know Linux Foundation did their thing, but they had tons of things to do. We are not the only ones there, right? So it's a really big foundation. It's a really big company as well, handling tons of projects. But we had time enough from my point of view, but different things happened there, right? So, for example, August, it was like no progress at all, I guess, because August, you know, all these places are closed. People is out, they don't answer. I know because I called them as well. In parallel, without saying nothing, I called them just to ensure that everything was okay. You know, like I thought, okay, I'm a local here, and maybe if I call them and I explain them, hey, do we really have a place for the 3rd and 5th of November? And they confirm it to me, no, that there is not, or people it's out on vacation or whatever. So also to have this in mind, like August doesn't exist, things are very slow, and etc. etc. And I agree to find first the venue, then the dates, or suggest the dates.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest mistake was that it's just too short, and the time for picking the venue was basically holidays in Europe. Sadly, it was a mistake that I knew that we should not make. But yeah, for different reasons, I started pushing the conference way too late. But what I'm most interested with what you're saying, folks, is what do you mean, like one person responsible for it? Because my position is that we still should not do the whole sourcing of different venues on our own, because it's a lot of different topics that have to be covered, like negotiations of, like I gave you the example with the hotel, where it's not just the room where we do the talks, but it's also like some hotels wants to have some additional rooms booked, and some, like, they basically expect some profit, not just renting a room. And this stuff is that's something that I'm still in the position that we should delegate to Linux Foundation, because I still believe actually that they are the best that we have. If we hire some different company, then like I wouldn't see any difference if we hire someone outside instead of Linux Foundation. So what do you mean, folks, by like just one person? Like You mean like not use Linux Foundation at all, or just support them? Because I think that if we have enough time and we actually start finding venues for, let's say, June next year, we start it like, let's say, next week or in 2 weeks, then it's definitely enough time for them to get the venue list for us, because they're pretty successful at it. They organize a lot of events around the world, pretty many of them, but they're successful because like they actually have enough time to do it. Like with, for example, API specification conference that is in San Francisco in 3 weeks, I think. They are able to organize everything. Actually, the person that I'm into contact with from Linux Foundation is the same person that organizes the API specification conference. And but the thing is that the folks from OpenAPI, they start organization of the event already a year, like at the end of the previous year. So they give themselves enough months to actually do it with Linux Foundation. So I don't want to blame, even though they're slow with responsives, I would definitely not blame Linux Foundation for that, that they couldn't help us. It's more on the short-term side. That's where the issue is, I think. So what do you folks mean? Like, you think that we should actually do everything on our own, or?
I think Fran mentioned to have someone who talks with Linux Foundation, but I think this is what we have right now.
Yeah, that's easy.
Because
That's
you
easy.
and Barbaño were in contact, right?
Yeah, it's just sending mails and passing information to people. So it's
I think, to be honest, what I would suggest is that we go with Linux Foundation. I completely know the effort of finding a venue, and it's huge. But it's doable anyway. So we don't. My thoughts are that we don't really need Linux Foundation for that, but we have Linux Foundation for us, which can help a lot because that experience, because whatever, tons of things, right? But I would say I would set a deadline for us, like a big deadline, maybe like a few months. If we don't have a venue by then we can work on parallel, and we destinate someone to find a place. In that case, if it's Barcelona and we have someone in the community in Barcelona, for example, in my case, it was me. So I would be happy to move, call, go in person, and do whatever we need. You know, I'm not blaming again Linux Foundation. I agree that it's a really powerful resource in that case. But maybe just in case to don't, I don't know. I wouldn't say to don't repeat the same thing, but to be covered by ourselves.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense to have like basically have a kind of list of dates where we think something has to be completed, and then when we don't have venue, then red light, and we definitely have to change something. Yeah, that's definitely. And for the online part that we can do this year, like we have the CFP finished, we have a lot of proposals. Schedule, I'm not sure how much advanced Alejandra is with the schedule, but it's not, I don't think it's super complex to modify it for online event. And the only like we have all the tools. We handled it pretty well with RESTream last year, and it was super smooth. Except like sometimes I was hanging with my internet, but it's not issue of the tools, it's my issue. So the only thing that we don't have, but it's still 2 months to organize is proper registration, because last time I was doing it, tried to cut the costs, which didn't make sense, but I just somehow wanted to do it. And I was just using some Zoom account from Linux Foundation that was enabled for registrations. But then the problem happened that we actually cannot do it on Zoom. So we had to, like, last minute tell people that it's on different medium. So we probably lost some audience, and it was like putting a lot of stress. So we need to, we definitely need to have some like professional or like, we can base it on our MailChimp and some web form, but we need a way how to register people. With online, luckily, we don't have to have any payment system in place, so it shouldn't be much difficult to do. That's why I don't see any risk. And we had huge audience last year for online event, so we definitely should not lose it. Anything like, Fran, I see your message in the chat that you'll be right back, but you're still disabled, so I guess you're not back yet. Okay. Ace, you have anything to add, or you're just listening?
Yeah, I'm just listening. You know, I'm pretty sad.
Yeah, you can't imagine how sad I am. But luckily, I have a lot of beer in my fridge, so
We can spend the budget of this conference buying beer for the community.
we don't have budget yet.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
So yeah,
I'm more sad now.
yeah, like the saddest is really like, I was super excited that I will finally meet people from the community in person, because like yeah, I'm typical human. I like to see people and drink with them beer. So like, do you have anything else to add? Because like, so my plan is that after this meeting, I basically update the, or maybe we should, actually we should probably create fresh discussion for it to not pollute the to-do discussion. So I'll create a fresh discussion in the community, and yeah, share this video link, summarize the situation, and post it on our social medias and ask people to voice opinion. Like, give them 1 week. Give them 1 week to do it. And yeah, let's see. Any comments from you folks? Yeah. So I guess we're gonna call it a day. So yeah, thank you for joining. Let's see what others think in GitHub discussions.
All right, I think, Rukesh, I think this is the saddest conference meeting we've had.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I mean, we are gonna have a conference, right? It's just online. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Not sad. It's fine.
No, like for the community, it's still good. Like, the content will be great. I like this week I'm watching the recordings from last conference. It's like super great stuff. So for community, it's gonna be good. I'm sad about more personally, because like I won't be able to see the people in face to face.
Yeah, that's what is making me sad. But this will happen anyway. Sooner or later, this will happen.
Yeah. Or next year we're gonna have some tomato flu or monkey whatever stuff.
Tomato flu. What is this?
Yeah, you have
Tomato flu. Okay, you're inventing a new.
yeah, there's new flu. Yeah. So so let's see.
Random generator of
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we have to think on a summer edition, you know? I think API summer edition. No. Because we will fall again in the same trap of timing. Forget about it. Look at Lucas' face.
What summer edition? Like do it in the summer or?
Yes.
Okay. Summer for who? Like Europe
Yes.
and different, because I learned that actually we're a bit biased.
When I say
with our-
summer, it's summer in the place where the venue is located, of course.
Okay. No,
So-
but I think it's actually can be May, June. It's no, you think we should still target after? I think June is doable.
We can try.
Still falling again for the same trap. One more time.
Don't take the
Yeah.
chances, mate.
We can do not a conference, but something like, I don't know, like we're gonna meet these days in this place. Whoever wants to come by their own budget, by their own responsibility. There's no conference or anything. We're just gonna party together. Whoever wants to come and can come, of course.
But you sponsor first round, right?
I sponsor first round, depending on the size of the group, of course.
So yeah.
Yeah, water for everyone.
Actually, so we do it in States because in States I think they give it for free in the restaurants.
Yeah,
Yes, tap water. That's it.
tap
Yeah.
water.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks guys for joining. And let's see in the GitHub discussion.